Here we go.
All right.
So, spokesperson. I'm going to pause this. A spokesperson for the IBF told the Ring magazine Derek Chisora is the mandatory challenger for Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
But the mandatory bout is due to be ordered on the 22nd of April.
That's
That's when the negotiation period starts. And they have like 2 or 3 months or whatever. And I think it's a month actually. If they can't agree, then it goes to perfect.
Yeah. So the thing is,
that's that.
I mean, if they are going to do the Parker Uso, we just done in the last video, Dubois wants to fight next and all the rest of it. But if he wants the Usyk fight now, before that would trump the mandatory. We know that, but they haven't got long. They've got Easter till Easter weekend essentially. Easter day after Easter Monday to get that over the line. If he wants to fight Parker, I don't know if that trumps the mandatory. All the politics will start surging. I'd imagine it's either going to be confirmed in the next week or so, whether it's Usyk or Chisora. And I've just got this horrible fucking feeling it's going to be Chisora. And you know my feelings on that fight, Chris, and I won't start ranting now because we'll
get into that later. So basically, this little bit here explains why Martin Bacoli, who was the #1 contender, lost his spot. Originally, Martin Bacoli and F.A. Zugba were scheduled to battle it out for the mandatory spot. But once the former, I think that's a typo, stepped into the fight with Joseph Parker for the WBO interim heavyweight, he lost that. He lost that spot. What a dumbass.
Oh, mate. We can even do a separate video on that, Chris. And now, just to let people know, any viewers watching who don't know, that fight is still going ahead. Bacoli Ajagba on the undercard of Ben Eubank Jr., I think, as a kind of just as a nothing clash now, really. It's still a good fight, but yeah.
So, like, how stupid do you have to be, right? For, like, I know he said he didn't want to let Turkey down, but I'm like, if Turkey's a realistic man, surely, and speaks to fighters direct, surely you can say, look, I don't want to let you down, but I'll be honest with you, I'm out of camp. I've been enjoying myself a bit. I'm just going to lose and mess up my career, and I've got a shot at a world title. I said, can't you? I'll do it, but I want a promise that you're going to get me a world title shot next. You say to me, Daniel Dubois is going to fight me next, as long as I beat F.A. Jagba, regardless. If I take this, because I'm going to lose my spot. Or did Martin Bacoli, like a moron, they went, we're going to pay you this much money. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Didn't ask any questions, didn't care. Or did his manager say yes without even telling him and say, you have to take it now?
Said, yes. Manager and trainer. I got a feeling it might have been might have been a little bit his manager and trainer. There was a few things in the corner, the way he sort of took him out, the way he was talking to him in the corner. Come on, you've had no sparring. Let's not go too mad here, or what I'm paraphrasing, whatever he was saying. It's all a bit dodgy. I've heard claims that he earned anywhere from $500,000 to $3 million. I have no idea what he earned, but he obviously was enough for him to fly out from the Congo.
I hope it was worth it. Do you know what? Yeah, this would have solved everything. Moses Atuma should have fucking took that fight. He should have. I wish he would have rolled the dice, because then he would have been mandatory.
Maybe being protected a little bit too, mate. Frank Warren's very good at managing his fight as well, and I think he's not.
Oh, because Frank Warren said that he wanted the Parker fight. He said that he wanted to try and get it for him.
He did say that. I think we reported that last year, sometime at end of last year. The other thing with the Bacoli,
they're both Frank Warren fighting.
The other thing with the Bacoli thing is that it not only has he kind of mucked up his career a little bit, he's now got to kind of rebuild it. He's got to do an absolute job on a Jagba, that's for sure. He's got to do a demolition job on him. But he's kind of ruined his reputation a little bit, because he was this boogeyman, the king of sparring. you know, done a brilliant job, and America's hype job, Jared, the real big bum, Anderson. And he's come in fat as a pig, completely out of shape. The knockout was weird as well. You know, it's not done.
He could have fought on. He could have fought on. For me,
I don't know.
No, but for taking the fight in such short notice, he deserved to take a few more licks.
Yeah.
For our entertainment, the money he got.
He probably should have done. I think he was so out of shape. He was so not battle ready. I mean, that was like going into war, not with an AK-47, with a bloody slingshot. I mean, he was just so unprepared. And then as soon as he...
Joseph Parker was in, like, he was in the best shape of his life.
Yeah.
Like, he just went... He felt him out for a few rounds. He smelt the alcohol and the food on Bacoli, and he went toe-to-toe with him and stopped him, mate. And normally,
I'll tell you what,
with Bacoli, it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's Parker. It's just improved his stock anyway. Look, at the end of the day, that was a attempt. You can't take too much stock in that because Bacoli was just completely unprepared. And anyone who knows anything about boxing or elite level sport, this isn't like a misfits bout where you're like 4 weeks, you do a bit of running around the block and lift a few weights and get in there and throw a few punches. You got to be absolute. And Parker he put on 20 pounds of lean muscle mass, ready to go to war with Dubois. So let's steady on in the comments if anyone sort of starts going, but Bacoli, that is, you know, you can't look into that at all. But at the end of the day, it makes Parker look even better. So it's not harmed him at all. So, you know, is what it is.
So the next thing is win, lose, or draw. Forget what win, lose, or draw. The next thing is Derek Chisora. Well, because Bacoli stepped in there with Bart Parker, and it was a WBO sanctioned bout for their mandatory shot, he's lost his status. And who's been elevated to the mandatory challenger now without having to fight? Derek Chisora. Because they did. I don't think that's fair. They should have at least said, because of the timings, they should have made Bacoli FA Jagba winner fight Chisora. Because it was like, it's weird. It was an IBF eliminator, Chisora Walling, just an eliminator, and then now they've decided it's a final eliminator because the Bacoli FA Jagba's not fighting. So basically, the winner of Bacoli FA Jagba was supposed to fight the winner of Chisora Walling. But because Bacoli fought Parker, that fight got scrapped, and then by default, Chisora has been elevated to the #1 contender. What a load of bullshit. What a load of bullshit, basically. Got a guy who is just having fights that he knows that he can win, that are all about 60-40. He's going in there. It doesn't warrant a mandatory shot. There's so much. Parker, why the fuck is a Parker? Like, it just drives me bonkers why Parker isn't going to get a world title shot because he's the one who deserves it the most. I know Derek Chisora, but his career and what he's been through, he deserves it. But logically, what has he done lately? No.
I know. The thing is, there's so many, the Jagba Bacoli was originally an IBF eliminator, wasn't it? I remember we covered it a couple of times, didn't we? And like you've just sort of described there, all the politics going on, and I know what's kind of happened here. You know what it's like. You know, Frank Warren's done a little bit of his magic. Chisora's kind of, come back onto his promotional team for one last hurrah, and I think they look as if they've become a bit close, Chris. And it's his 50th fight, the romanticism of it, the glamour of it, and I think there's been a bit of influence there. There's been a little bit of kind of charm offensive. Frank Warren having a little coffee table meeting with Turki Al-Sheikh. That's done, Chisora working through I'm just theorising here, working through the ranking. Because and the thing is, and I start putting my promoter head on. Chisora's he's a ticket seller. All British clash against Dubois. It will sell out Wembley. You know, you can imagine all the promotion, how it's going to be sold. You know, he goes out in his 50th fight, world title, all British clash. I get it. Yeah. I get what they've done, but let's not be naive here. This is the kind of fake Warren's doing here, and kind of. And I'm not criticising it because I understand it. It's a business as well as a sport. I'm not daft, but ultimately, and I'm sure you'll come in. I really don't like the fight. Stylistically, Dubois is all wrong for Chisora, even more so at 41. Chisora's he had that Labour tour win against Gerald Washington. Then he beat, Joe Joyce had been zhanged by the Chinese power. He's never been the same since. And Otto Wallin was scared to death in that ring for half that fight. He did trade with him a little bit, but Otto Wallin isn't an on the front foot, aggressive pressure fighter. I mean, and now we're going to chuck him in there against Dubois and potentially send him to a nursing home. Like, what the fuck? Like, really?
It's bad, yeah. Just because Chisora's style now, he fights in bursts, and Dubois has got a youth on him. So all he has to do, and an engine, yeah. So all he has to do, bum rush, like exactly what he did to AJ. Run at him and start trading straight away. Just let the shots go. And Chisora, he's quite wily, and he could land a good counter punch and hurt Dubois. We don't know because it is heavyweight boxing. But if he doesn't, it's going to be a short night and a very painful night for Chisora because he already seems a little bit punchy at times. You know, when he speaks.
Yeah, I'll worry a little bit, Chris. I think the thing is, stylistically, I know Chisora has got some decent kind of lateral movement and head movement at times when he wants to, but I think the combination of Dubois' speed, it's got decent accuracy and power. I mean, you tell me, Chris. Break this down for me. In a 3-minute round, in those early rounds, how many of those ramrod jabs and right hands is Chisora flipping? Because I don't think too many of them.
This is the thing, yeah. He's going to come with a ramrod jab, and Chisora is going to slip a couple. Soon as he's in range, whether he can land or not, he's going to let them hands go. Then Dubois going to let his hands. Yeah, Dubois going to let his hands go, and you never know. He does hit hard, as everyone says, and because Dubois underestimating him, thinking he's old, could go in there a bit reckless, chin out instead of head down, and
true.
Could catch one, but my money is on Dubois. But but that's how they're going to sell it, and it can actually happen. It could happen, but it's one of them things, yeah, where everyone's going to say nah. And some twat's going to put like a tenner on and win like $40,000 or something because that's how bad the odds will be.
I'll tell you what, I know Chisora's got a fair few losses on his 49 fight record, but he's not been spot. He's very hard to spot. I think David Hay kind of stopped him in fairly comprehensive. You've got to put punches together. Very rarely. Dillian White sparked him with a counter left hook, which knocked him out cold. That's one of the only time. That might be the only time I've seen him not. He was stopped on his feet to Tyson Fury a couple of times in the 3 fights, I think. I've not seen him out cold too many times, and Dillian White might be the only time. Even against Vitaly Klitschko, I think. Did he go 12 rounds?
No, he went 12 rounds. With Vitaly, yeah. But
we're talking Vitaly. I mean, that fight was about 15 fucking years ago. So, I mean, I'm trying.
How the hell? Well, he must be in some sort of shape because he passed his medical. I mean, he's got a boxing license to fight. But,
yeah. But the question I want to ask you, Chris, that Look, I know he's still durable. I know he's still got some decent punch resistance. But if we actually break it down, right, Joe Joyce, all right, Gerald Washington, Dillian White fights were quite a while ago. You know, Otter Wallin, not a puncher. I mean, who has he fought? Who has he fought in the last 5 or 6 years that can really punch anywhere near what Dubois can do?
None. Absolutely nobody.
And he's 5, 6, 7 years older. So maybe I'm reading, maybe I'm looking too much. I'm just concerned about Chisora's health for this fight. Like genuinely. So that's where I'm at.
For sure. Actually, you saying that, he hasn't fought any devastating punch. They've all been pity-pat guys, really.
Dillian White was the last one. Would I be right in saying? Look, the Usyk performance was great, but Usyk's not a puncher. We all know that. Usyk's not a puncher. He's got everything else, but he ain't a concussive puncher.
Dillian White was nearly 10 years ago. So
fucking hell, was it that long ago? 2016, wasn't it? Around 2017, yeah.
Do you know one thing that I like about Derek Chisora? Yeah, he's been sparked out cold twice, but he's got no fear. That's that's why he's dangerous. Why? Because like most people, like AJ, got knocked out. He's never been the same since. He don't care if he gets knocked out or not. He says, I'm swinging it out with you, and I don't like. There's no fear in him or tentativeness about maybe getting knocked out again. He still just goes gun ho. He just.
That's a really good point, actually, that you've made there. Not many people have maybe made that point. I think what that shows is his mentality. He's an absolute warrior. He's a warrior. You can't deny. You've got to give him credit. He's had a fantastic career. I'm not slagging off Chisora. I've got nothing bad. To me, he gets all my respect. You're right. He's never, even with some of his bad losses, you know, his quite sort of conclusive, concussive losses. He's never shied away from a fight, and he won't with this one. He'll come forward. He'll try and look for those overhand rights. He'll maybe swing off the ropes a little bit and try and catch Dubois with something. He'll take a few to give one back. 100%. But he's going to get knocked out.
Well, please give us your thoughts. Do you give him a chance or not? Maybe we'll do a voting poll, see what people think.
I'll write that down. I'll do a poll.
Let's like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. Alrighty.